All right. I'm Zeolith. I'm here with the Pearl.
I
And we just saw Halloween 2018. So, what did you think of the movie?
movie was awesome.
It was pretty awesome.
Had some good jump scares.
What was your favorite? Well, let's just go ahead and say up front, we'll just make this a spoiler review. So we can go ahead into talking about the movie. So don't watch this if you haven't seen it yet. What was your favorite jump scares?
When that father and son pull over with the bus that's been tipped over.
Oh, so we're at the beginning of the movie, huh?
Yeah.
Now, what I thought was interesting is the movie is kind of divided into three parts, sort of, because it takes its time getting into the main killing part.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't jump right into it like some horror movies. You gotta wait about half an hour, 40 minutes of setting up Lori now and the generations of the family and
Yes.
stuff. And then you have the second kind of third of the movie, which is basically your kind of classic Halloween, kind of Halloween 4, Halloween 5-ish, where he's just going around town killing everyone. And that might be my favorite part, just because it reminds me of all the classic slasher movies we used to get in the 80s and then don't get anymore.
Yeah.
And then we had kind of your Home Alone, Skyfall, Straw Dogs ending
Yes.
of traps in the house. So that's kind of interesting. But I think this thing that might have been the best jump scare, except that they showed it in the trailer, was when that one babysitter opens the closet and Michael's in there.
It's a good one.
Except they showed it in the trailer, so I kind of knew it was coming. I don't know if you remembered that from the trailer
I
or
kind of
not.
remembered that from the trailer.
I did. So I was like, Michael's going to be in there. So that's pretty good. But what did you think of the plot twist of the doctor being in on it? Did you see it coming?
It's kind of like this weird obsession that, in all of the Halloween movies, where Dr. Loomis he wanted to keep Michael out, like in the asylum, and but then at the same time, he was really fascinated by him too. I mean, he gives like a speech about it where he's like, I remember trying to reach him, and then the rest of it, I was just trying to keep him.
And I noticed they had what sounded like a Donald Pleasance impersonator on a tape recorder one part of this movie. I'm assuming that wasn't something that Donald Pleasance recorded before he died. That was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
So I guess this doctor is kind of like a Sam Loomis if he went evil. But I felt like that subplot was kind of cut a little short because you found out the doctor was evil and like about 10 seconds later he was dead.
Yes.
Maybe not 10 seconds, but less than 10 minutes.
Yes.
But I noticed that in the middle part of the movie, when Michael was doing his big killing spree around town, they had a classic kind of 5-minute no-cut sequence, which they showed a little Halloween 2 homage, you said it was?
Yes, actually, except
Tell us about that.
It was different. So in the original Halloween 2, Michael is out, in the neighborhood, and he ends up stealing another, classic kitchen knife. However, it's when a couple is watching movies and making a sandwich, and he just kind of comes in, takes the knife, and then leaves. Doesn't do anything, doesn't hurt the people.
Now, if I remember right, the shot was kind of the same, showing him.
Yes.
You saw the light of the kitchen inside the house, and he comes in.
Yes.
And this one, he killed a lady, but then he decided not to kill the baby, which was nice of him.
Yeah, this time around he brutally kills her, and he thought about it.
He thought about what? Killing the baby?
Killing the baby. There was
that
a
just would have
moment.
been rude.
The thing is Michael doesn't kill kids because they don't pose a threat on him. So that poor boy that got killed on the road.
The very beginning, yeah.
That is a
broke
shock.
new ground.
That's Jesus Christ.
Now, we never saw the little black boy after the babysitter got killed, so
He ran.
hopefully he got out.
He left Dave to die.
I guess he must have been the one who called the police, because the police knew to come to that house.
Yes.
And what's his name was stuck up against the wall, which is another homage to the original, the one guy. gets
pinned to the wall.
yeah.
Except he was facing the other way this time. Yeah.
So that was a little homage.
Well, it could be one of two things. The black kid made it to another house, or we have nosy neighbors. There are such a thing now.
That's true. Especially if they're on high alert. No, I didn't notice any homages to Halloween 4, 5, and 6. But then again, I think I've only seen those movies once each. Maybe I've seen Halloween 4 twice, but I've only seen Halloween 5 and 6 once each, so I didn't notice any homages.
I did love the beginning opening credits as well.
Oh, that's pretty cool. It showed it looked like they probably left a camera on a pumpkin for a few weeks as it
yes,
probably took a photograph every day or something as the pumpkin. So that was clever.
That was very clever. They used the old text.
And I thought it was the old font, you mean?
Yeah.
And I thought it was a little weird how they had a pre-credit sequence of them going to the asylum and then showed the credits.
It's that guy's fault, right?
What, the podcaster?
Yes.
The moral of the story is don't do a true crime podcast.
Why would you do that? Were you expecting?
It's a very popular podcast genre these days.
I understand.
I don't listen to any of them, but
would
people
you go in there and provoke somebody to do this? Because then he set off a chain of events going on.
Although I guess it's also partially the doctor's fault because I guess it's implied that he's the one who arranged the bus crash.
And want to ride with them. That makes all the sense in the world now.
Maybe if that little kid has successfully shot and killed the doctor at the beginning, we could have saved some trouble.
Well,
I guess Michael would have been out already.
Michael still would have been out, but we wouldn't have had the weird doctor thing.
Now, what do you think of Laurie Strode herself in this movie, Jamie Lee Curtis?
She's pretty badass.
Pretty cool. Now, it's interesting. Her face looks pretty old, looks pretty grandma-ish.
But her body...
Her body's still lean and fit, and she looks like $1 million from the neck down.
Yes.
She just has I'll tell you, her hair looks like great grandma 90-year-old hair.
Yes.
And then her face looks like a 60-year-old woman, but then from the neck down, she looks like she's 30. You see her in a tank top and you're like, damn, Jamie Lee.
I guess when you have to prep for something like that, you're like, well, what would Laurie Strode look like older? And just an FYI, what's up with the daughter?
What, Judy Greer's character?
Oh my God.
She's a little annoying.
Do you not watch the news? Do you not have a TV in your house?
I know, right? She's
Your
like,
mom comes-
Michael's not real. And I was like, oh no.
Oh.
No, he is.
Well, my favorite. We have to leave. Mom, stop this. You're not allowed in this house anymore. Turn on the news. Turn on the news.
I know, right? Well, I felt like she's a little annoying. I liked the granddaughter character. I mean, the granddaughter character. What was her name?
Allison.
She was kind of your typical kind of slasher protagonist, but
yes,
in this one, she's kind of sharing protagonists. I felt like she and Laurie were kind of the main protagonists,
right.
And the mom was kind of a little more of a supporting character, but she's pretty good. They kind of ditched the boyfriend. That was the guy from Nashville, right?
Yes, and he was
and he just kind of exited the movie pretty early on. I was like, this guy's going to be in the whole movie, and
I thought he was going to get killed.
Even his kind of pudgy faced friend made it longer. He did get killed. But
he did get killed.
They had some funny dialogue. There were some funny bits, like the little black kid.
Oh, that kid
was cussing a lot.
Adorable.
It was almost kind of jarring because the movie's serious, and then suddenly we're in a comedy bit. And there was another bit with those cops eating their bad brownies and stuff.
Bim Bob.
It's kind of funny. But I thought that, Jamie Lee Curtis did a pretty good job. It was a very different interpretation than we saw in Halloween H2O, where she was a little traumatized, but had kind of moved. She was a teacher, right, in that one or something?
Yeah, she was a professor.
She kind of moved on with her life. In this one, she hadn't moved on at all. So it's almost the opposite interpretation.
See, I like this one better.
Does it feel more realistic to you or something?
Yeah, one, it's that. Two, it's more like you've been through this horrible thing, and I don't think you just shut it off like a light switch. And I think that it's interesting that the family is just oh, shut it off, it's fine.
Yeah.
you guys don't understand. Like, there's this guy was like Terminator.
Now, I kind of feel like maybe after 40 years you would have moved on, but who knows? I've never met a knife-wielding serial killer, so maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Who knows? It was interesting, though. I can't think of any other horror series where we've caught up with the kind of main character this much later. I mean, there's a Psycho sequel, so we catch up with him, Norman, about 20 years later, and there's I guess there's the Dream Warriors where we catch up with Nancy, but that was only 5 years later or something. But 40 years is that's pretty unusual. I mean, I guess Rocky will have been around for 40 years, but that's not a horror series unless you count killer robots in Rocky 4. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I felt like sometimes it cut away from some subplots so long that you kind of forgot about them a little bit. Like, there were stretches in the middle where you didn't see Lori for like it seemed like 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
What'd you think about that?
Yeah, that was unusual. But
I guess, like I said, there's kind of multiple main characters, sort of.
Exactly.
Now, is there anything about it that didn't work as much for you?
It's a hard question because seeing it once.
Yeah, you gotta watch it multiple times.
You know.
The one thing I would say is I felt like maybe the doctor should have stayed around longer after they revealed how he was behind it.
Yeah.
It's like he reveals, then he's dead.
He's dead, yeah.
Well, what'd you think of the kind of Home Alone-ish section at the end?
That's pretty good. That's
not so much traps. They're like clever traps. It's literally just cage doors that slam.
I kind of want that house.
Well, hopefully you don't ever need cage doors that slam.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, now, this has nothing to do with anyone else who watches the movie, but I felt like there was during that part there was someone behind us who was breathing really loud. Did you notice that?
Yes.
It was kind of annoying. I mean, I'm not saying people with breathing problems can't go to the movies, but maybe don't go to the opening night screening.
But at least we didn't get laughing guy.
Yeah, like we did at Hereditary. I mean, there were a few funny parts, but it's like people can laugh at the funny parts.
I mean, the best...
But then not laugh at the whole thing, you know?
The best, like, funny bit was just the black kid and the babysitter.
He's like, you smoking weed.
I know. Come over here and you're smoking weed.
So that was pretty funny. They didn't...
And then they're like, just set Dave up.
No, they didn't. Maybe they should have set up that babysitter character earlier in the movie. Like, you could have seen her and the granddaughter. Well, Allison, you said.
Yes.
Hanging out or something. Kind of like the original, but... Or did you? Was she one of the friends she was walking with at the beginning? Okay, so they set her up.
Yeah.
Briefly.
Not
quite as many scenes of the teens hanging out as the original, but I guess you also had to deal with Grandma Lori, so that makes sense.
Yes.
Oh my, oh my. So where would you rank it in the series?
Well, personally, my favorite... my favorite is really just the original Halloween.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. But then what's your...
Well, I like Halloween 2.
Is Halloween 2 your second favorite?
Yes.
Now we're talking about 1981 Halloween 2, not Rob Zombie weird Halloween 2.
Correct.
Now, what would you pick as your third favorite? Would this one be a contender at least?
It would be a contender.
Would you have to think about it?
No, it'd be a contender.
Yeah.
Obviously I don't talk about Season of the Witch.
Yeah. And, Season of the Witch, I'm not a huge fan, although I still might not rank it at the very bottom. I might still rank Halloween Resurrection.
Those ones are pretty bad.
With its reality TV stuff.
Yes.
But I would probably rank this one above Halloween 4, 5, and 6. I thought it was a little more creative. I guess I like the ones that Jamie Lee Curtis is in.
Yes.
1, 2, H2O is all right. This one I think feels like it's a very different interpretation. H2O. H2O felt a little more like a kind of a Scream. I know you did last summer, 90s type of horror movie.
Yes.
This one's a little more serious, but with funny bits.
But Tim, here's the real question.
What is the real question?
Is Michael Myers really dead?
I don't know. I guess that depends if this one makes enough if they want to do a sequel.
See, they left it as a question mark.
These movies kind of have a bad habit of they release one that makes it seem like this is the end, but then it does well, so then they make a sequel that's not as good, which is what happened with H2O and Resurrection. See, I don't want them to do the same thing they did with Resurrection. That was the 8th one, right? The reality TV
I
one.
think so, yeah.
I don't want them to do the same thing where they just bring Jamie Lee Curtis back to get killed off in the first 10 minutes again, like they did with that one. That would just not do.
But that was always a theme.
Yeah. No, I think that this would be a good place to end it. They have the 3 generations of the Strode family at the end. Poor Dad didn't make it though.
Dad's an idiot.
Yeah. You could have like at least one dialogue from the granddaughter though, where she's like, "Where's Dad?" She's like, "Oh, my dad is dead. That sucks."
No, that's the original sheriff, right? Or is it?
Which guy? The cop guy?
Yes.
No, I think the original sheriff actor would be way older than that. I don't know. He might not even be alive anymore.
I kind of wanted a damn you for letting him go line.
Damn you for letting. See, I did like some of the references though in the music and stuff. You had not just the obvious Halloween theme, but they also at one point played the dun.
Dun.
Now did they play the dun 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 dun?
I think they did.
They did. I thought they didn't, but maybe I just missed it.
There was a lot to take in for your first round, Tim.
Yeah, I probably won't watch it again in theaters, but I might definitely check it out again on DVD, as the kids say, the Blu-ray, the streaming.
They did a light version of when the 2 kids were trick-or-treating and they ran into them.
Oh yeah.
It was like that.
Oh yeah, that I guess was a reference to when the bully bumps into Michael outside the school in the
They
first
also
one.
talked about Lonnie.
Lonnie. Who's Lonnie again?
Lonnie was just some shithead kid from the first one.
Oh, okay.
That was messing around at Michael's house.
Oh yeah, I must have missed that.
Yeah, Dad was talking about Lonnie, and the boyfriend's dad is Lonnie. Hey Lonnie, get your ass away from there.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So, what was your favorite kill in the movie? Because you always gotta rank that in a slasher movie.
Really?
Yeah.
My favorite kill?
Yeah.
You know, I kind of like the one where he's kind of tormenting the fat kid.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good. I like the lights coming on and off.
I was like, come on.
It reminds me of something from another horror movie where it's flickering in and out, but I can't come up with it right now. Or maybe it's just that video where they keep showing the cat coming closer every time the camera cuts away.
Yes. But that was a good one of just like, all right, let's just get up and get moving.
It's pretty good. It's pretty
Even
good.
though he was drunk and, you know.
So overall, you're a supporter of the film.
Yes.
What would you? All right, so let's do our final rankings then. What would you give it out of 10?
Out of 10, like 10
Yeah.
being
10 being the best movie ever, 1 being
really bad.
The Bourne Legacy.
Ugh. I can't give a 0 on that one. Well, I'd have to compare it to Suspiria. So
What,
I'm gonna
then?
give it to a 9.
Oh, 9. That's a bold rating. I'll
I
go
really
a little.
liked it.
I'll give it a 7.5 for now, but we'll see if that could move up or down or something upon another viewing. But for now, I'll give it the solid 7.5.
Jeez,
which is
Tim,
like
you're
my-
harsh.
I think 7.5 is I don't give a lot of movies. I gave Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom a 4 out of 10. So 7.5.
We don't talk
is,
about that movie.
So 7.5 is pretty solid in comparison. So all right, well I guess we'll call that a good first episode of Walking Home from the Theater reviews. But maybe soon we'll do another one for Star is Born or Venom or Suspiria or Creed 2 or.
Oh yeah, Tim. You never told me your favorite kill.
Oh, now if they hadn't shown it in the trailer, it'd probably be the one where he was in the closet. But as is, I guess I'll go with maybe the one where he sneaks in behind the lady in the window, just because that was the most classic 80s horror with the knife going through the neck. That was almost more of like a Friday the 13th one Kevin Bacon
Yes.
reference.
All right.
All right. We'll call that a good first episode. All right. Later, everyone.